My next upload today is with regard to the ongoing matter of individuals that are violating very serious and very important protection laws that are my natural entitlement. Now, as I've mentioned, there have been individuals in this community that have been involved in harms to my child and abduction of my son since 2017, and there are individuals that have been prying into my privacy and my private life that are not legally in any way qualified to be intruding to the extent that they've intruded. So there's a very serious issue with a HAPS tenancy contract, and a HAPS tenancy contract being violated that doesn't facilitate violations of protection, nor does it facilitate computational programming, nor does it facilitate individuals trespassing into my proximity and my privacy and disturbing the peace. So there's a very serious issue that's been happening since I gave birth and since my marriage in 2015, and there have been issues caused around this matter that I have been bringing to the attention of the relevant authorities. Now, the extra issue around this matter is the issue of my royal patronage. So the authorities have an obligation to my royal patronage and my personal privacy to be respected. Now, that is not happening. So when I have a shower in the morning, I expect to have a private shower. If I'm living in a private space, I expect to move freely around my private space without people discussing anything from a remote perspective or from a perspective that is not consented to. Now, I've mentioned already that there have been individuals in the community that have damaged sacred already. They have been developing artificially. They've damaged the ozone layer. They've damaged wildlife. They've damaged nature. They've damaged the value of information. Now, I didn't consent to any of these individuals' computational experiments being in my private space, especially when they are offenders since 2006. So this is a very serious issue when a light body of $800 billion worth of light is damaged. And when people start getting cheeky with other people's property and royal patronage, and especially with getting the unlawful documents regarding my child in a care order placement that is not even required or even legalized. So this entire situation is absolutely outrageous for a democracy to be experiencing in 2021. So I'd appreciate those relevant bodies and agencies that have been contacted since 2017 with regard to the neuroses and the mental illness and the neurotic obsession of these individuals to continuously distort the facts of a very dangerous matter regarding faith, religion and spirituality and thought processing. So they are suffering from a mental illness that just gives them the impulse to continue with their offences and their distortions and disturbances of the peace. They're upsetting the democracy and they're disrespecting royal bloodline. So that's really cheeky. So I'd appreciate the guards and the government realising my humanitarian work has changed society for the better, and that there's a few obligations that I'm owed with regard to the very, very inexcusable offences that have been perpetrated by incompetent human beings. So as regards this entire matter, I'd appreciate the new President of Ireland contacting me personally with regard to treason that I'm experiencing and slanderers that have damaged society and nature and wildlife in Tralee, County Kerry, unfortunately.